Here's a question. How do you navigate the tension between promoting normalcy in birth while also being prepared to intervene in the cases of complication or emergency? Ooh, high five. That is a question for our times. Woo. There is a tension there. Thanks for naming that. That is a brilliant question, and it hits right on the tension, the feeling we all have in our body, and it names the division in midwifery itself, right? We have camps in midwifery that are trust birth, no, don't intervene, trust the woman, sit on your hands, knit, right? And then we have folks who are actively beating the drum of, we need better skills, babies die at home births. And that tension between those two camps and between those two feelings in ourselves is the crux of our modern midwifery journey. Thank you so much. That is really, really helpful. So let's get into it. First of all, acknowledge the tension, which you've just done, which we can all do, and say, yes, I want to promote safety, prevent injury, death. I want to be there in the way that I'm needed to be there. 2, I don't want to prevent sovereignty or independence or choice. I don't want to interfere with the process. Here's this tension place in me. So first is acknowledging it. The dogma of leaning into one camp or another without really getting the fact that it's a yes and both are true. That is one of the first major problems. So 1, acknowledge, which you have so brilliantly. Thank you for that. 2, have really great skills, like really great skills. And the first great skill to develop is risk assessment, right? Risk assessment is, I know what normal is so well that when I evaluate anyone else, I can see them overlaid on normal and it either matches or it doesn't match. I can identify abnormality. So important. So acknowledge the tension, get good in risk assessment and understanding what normal is and what normal isn't. 3, bring enough people to birth that you have the help that you need when and if you need it, and you have the perspective to be hands-off if that's what's required, right? I want you to find mentors who also know normal so that you get steeped in normal right from the beginning. We have the ability to be supported and guided right from the beginning into what normal is and what normal isn't. Very important. And that in each birth, in each moment, when you're there at the birth, it is a regular check-in with your intuition, with your gut feeling, with your felt sense, with your nervous system. It's a check-in to say, how does it feel right now? How is my body, my mirror neurons reacting to this environment? It's a check-in with the baby. It's a check-in with the birther. It's a check-in with the surround, the team around you. That will help. But the real truth is you will never, ever be free of the tension. Because this is the part. This is it. This is what we sign up to hold as midwives so that the birther doesn't have to. So that the partner doesn't have to. So that the baby doesn't have to hold this. We sign up to say, I will sit in the unknown. I will sit in the maybe, in the what if. I will continue to parole and parow. I don't know, what's the word? I will search for normal. And if I can't find normal, I have solutions for you, right? We are highly resourced and patient. This is the work of midwifery. And when you found this place, this rub, this growth edge, sharp edge, knife's edge of what if, then you're at the place where you acknowledge daily, every birth, every moment, you acknowledge we are at life and death every moment. Life is so precious and so potentially fleeting. And I sit at the threshold and I hold the space so that people can do what they need to do without having to wonder. And I will shine the spotlight on things that need attention. There's no ambiguity. I will bring up the choice points. That creates the space for sovereignty. There's a lot of conversation about like sovereign birth, and this is in the free birth conversation, and this is in the community home birth conversations, and this is in, this is true. Like, we do want this, but there's like a missing component. Sovereignty in a vacuum is just solitude. Sovereignty exists because there is a container. We have people and support around us. And then we have choice. And choice is what creates sovereignty. When you don't have choice, when you've forced yourself to be alone, or you've chosen alone because of the risk, or when the people around you make you feel like you have to do it all, you are alone. That's not sovereignty. That's solitude. And I think that's what a lot of free births are. But true sovereignty requires the surround. It requires the choice. It requires the gatekeeping. That's not the right word because that's got bad connotations. Threshold. We're sitting at the threshold. It requires the folks sitting in circle. It requires midwifery, right? With midwifery, with that support and their layers of support, because midwives have the physician and the hospital and the doula and their colleagues. They have these layers of support. So when we have layers of support behind midwifery, then sovereignty can exist. And midwives, your role is to sit in that discomfort, to be awake and aware and vigilant and oriented and assessing. And the assessment report. So you check in and you smile and nod. You check in. Yes. Check in. Everything is okay. Except for when you check in and you're like, I'm noticing this. This result is coming up. This feels like this. And you report that back. And then the birthing person has sovereignty. And it's our role to sit there. So that's a very long-winded conversation answer to your question, but I hope that helps.